Today we'll be learning how to make evaporated milk in a pressure canner. Please note this is not an FDA approved method. Please use at your own risk. You will need all of the items seen above. You'll need vinegar and paper towel to clean your jar lids. Also note you will need to boil your jar lids. You'll need 3 quarts of water to go into your pressure canner. You can go ahead and add the water and turn on medium-high heat while you fill your jars. Clean the jars with vinegar to remove any residue and allow the lids to seal properly. Remember, always sterilize your jars before using them. I always use mine in a 275-degree oven for 15 minutes, then remove the jars and allow them to cool down to room temperature. You will use your magnetic lid lifter to carefully remove the boiled lids and place them on the jars. Once this is done, you will need to get your bands and you will be putting them on hand tight. If you tighten them too much, the pressure will cause the lids to crinkle in the middle and they will not seal. In my case, I use these jars daily to make infant formula, so I do reuse my lids because if they don't seal, I can put them in the refrigerator. However, I strongly suggest that you do use new lids anytime you can. Now by this time, your water should be warming up fairly nicely in your pressure canner. So just keep a check on that. And as I said earlier, remember only hand tight on the jar lids. Once you have tightened all of your lids, you can begin to very carefully place your jars into your canner. Be careful when you place the jars in because you will burn your fingers if you touch the side of that can. I usually place my jars in very slowly anyway, just to make sure that I don't have any cracking issues. That has happened to me before. I can usually get 9 pints out of 1 gallon, and that's using raw milk. I'm not sure what it would be using store-bought milk. Once you have placed all of your jars into the pressure canner, carefully place the lid on the top and be sure it is tight.
Don't touch.
Continue to run your heat medium-high until you reach a steady stream of steam coming across the top. Once you see this steam, reduce your heat slightly and set the timer for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, place the weight for your recommended altitude. Once it begins rocking, you will set your timer for 15 minutes and be sure to maintain the proper pressure until the end of the 15 minutes. Once the time is up, you may turn off the heat. Allow the pressure canner to decompress naturally. Once it is cooled enough to decompress, remove the weight and the lid, and then carefully use your jar lifters to place your jars on a thick towel to cool. You should begin hearing a series of tings from the jars. This just means that your seals are closing properly. Once they have fully cooled, you may press down on each jar lid to check the seal. If any of the lids go down when you press on them, that means they did not seal properly. You will need to store those jars in the refrigerator and use them as soon as possible. The rest you may continue to use in recipes, just as store-bought, or you can use for infant formula. And in the future, I will be having a video on how to make infant formula from using your homemade evaporated milk. And for those of you who do not wish to make your own evaporated milk, I will also do a video of how to make infant formula from store-bought evaporated canned milk. Thank you for joining me on my very first YouTube tutorial. I hope to continue giving you back to the basic things like your grandparents used to do, and I hope you all have a very blessed day.